Good morning. My name is Vaishak, PGT English. Let's start today a new story. A story which is prescribed in class 10 CBSE board, A Letter to God. So once again, welcome to my class. Let me just give me one thing. Pardon for my sound. I have a little bit throat issues. So my sound will be a little bit irritating for you sometimes. So pardon that. Excuse me for that. So let us start the story. Letter to God, written by J.L. Fuentes. It's one of the most famous stories written by J.L. Fuentes. The story is all about the idea of having unquestionable belief in something. Do you believe in something? For example, do you believe in God? Yes. Obviously, most of us will be a believer. We will have faith upon God. But how can we test our faith? What is the maximum limit of your faith? Do you completely believe upon God for your day-to-day affairs, for your life? Yes, we all have faith, but for our faith there is a limit. This is a story about a person, about a poor farmer who has unwavering faith uh, upon God. His faith is not changing. His faith doesn't change. Unquestionable, unchanging faith. So let's move on to the story A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes. The story starts like let me give you a small summary of the story, then I'll move on to the main points. Here we have Lenjo, a small farmer who is the protagonist of the story. He writes a letter to God seeking help from the Almighty after discovering his entire crop yield destroyed by a devastating hailstorm. Although his wishes get fulfilled partially, if not completely, he is ungrateful in the end and questions the honesty and modesty of the postmasters who actually help him with the money in the name of God. So, as you understood, this is the story about a farmer who is writing a letter to the God when his crops were devastated by a hailstorm. He wrote the letter, and the letter was received by a postmaster who decides to help him and is helping him. But in turn, Lenjo, he was not that much, what to say, thanksgiving person. He is not sharing his thanks. Instead, he is saying something that is a twist of the story. I'm not revealing that in the beginning itself. Let's move on to the next part. Let's move on to the beginning of the story. The story is set in Latin American country. Yeah, the story has a Latin American background. Latin America, you know, I think. Like you might have seen in some movies and all. Mexico, Caribbean, all these countries become parts of Latin America only. Venezuela, Lithuania, all these countries. So here the farmer is from a Latin American country. His name is Lenjo. The story begins when Lenjo was expecting for a rain to nourish his field of corn. Yeah, he is a farmer. He is having a cornfield, and he is hoping for a good rain because a good rain will give him a good yield. He was confident that his hours will be going to give him a good profit, a huge profit, just like the last year. But to his utmost excitement, rainfall did happen. But sooner it turned into a hailstorm, destroying his entire crop field. Imagine he was waiting for a rain and rain comes. Yeah, there was rain. So he thought, oh my god, a good rain. He will get good, what to say, good amount of corn. He's going to be rich, not that much rich, but he's going to get good yield this year. But to his utter disappointment, the rain it became heavy, strong, and with rain came storms and hailstones. The damage posed a threat to the family's survival, as their entire livelihood was dependent on the year's produce. Yeah, then like a farmer family. No, a farmer family is usually depending upon the that year's crops. 1 year of crop will give them enough money to survive that year. But here now, this entire family is going to face a crisis. They don't have crop. That means they don't have money. Although disheartened, the family had robust belief in the Almighty. Yeah, disheartened means heartbroken. Huh? But same time they had faith upon God. The robust belief, that unchanging, unquestionable belief they had upon the Almighty. Lenzo, despite having worked day and night at the field, knew how to write and thus decided to write a letter to God, explaining his situation and asking for help. Can you even think about such a thing? Have you ever written any letter to a God stating your sadness? No. We might call up some of our friends. We might share our sadness with our family, friends. That's it. But here he is sharing his dejections, his sorrow to God by a letter. I don't know how did he write a letter. He went to town to post his letter addressed to God. That's the only address, the God. So he thought for God there is no need of an address. So he wrote a letter to God. A crazy fellow, isn't it? Now you might be thinking, what a crazy fellow he is, writing letter to God. Who will help him? Let us see. Sometimes God will do some miracles, isn't it? Sometimes it will be human beings uh, playing the same miracles. The letter, on being noticed by the postmaster, at first amused him, but uh, then motivated him want to do something for the farmer so as to keep his immense belief intact. The first he thought postmaster thought he was a crazy fellow who will write a letter to God. They laughed. Later he understood. He thought about the faith this person is having. He thought about the belief this person is having, and he understood. Oh my God, I don't have such a faith. I don't have such a belief. I should do something to save his belief. Not for the lecture, nothing, but he is believing upon God that much. I cannot shake his belief upon God. So he contributes from his salary and collects money from his colleagues and friends who willingly contributed for an act of charity. So he collected money from all the people. He even contributes a part of his salary. Huh? From his colleagues, from his friends, relatives, he started collecting money. Because Lenzo, he asked for 100 pesos. That's the amount demanded by Lenzo. That letter is too crazy. If you read the letter in textbook, you can know that. He's asking for 100 pesos, demanding, not requesting. He's just demanding the money, but to his dismay, postmaster could only collect 70 pesos. Postmaster tried a lot, but he was able to collect only 70 pesos out of the 100 pesos demanded by Lenjo. Because Lenjo needed that much amount of money to, uh, what's it, for surviving that year. So he asked 100 pesos, but postmaster was only able to collect around 70 pesos. So he put the wrapped the 70 pesos in a letter, in an envelope, and he wrote a reply to Mr. Lenjo. Not that much reply, only the money, and undersigned the God. So he put a sign, the God, and he sent the letter to Lenjo. So Lenjo, next day he went to the post office, he received the letter, but he is not at all happy. Lenjo is shocked. Huh? Not only shocked, not because he got the money, no. He was shocked, he was angry because the amount was less in amount. The amount was less. He gets angry on finding that the amount is less than what he had expected. So he expected 100 pesos, but he received only 70 pesos. He knew that God will never commit any mistakes. So how will it happen? Huh? He knew God will never do that. But how did this happen? He thought the postmaster, the post office employees, they are the crooked persons. They have stolen the money. They have stolen his money. So what happened? He was so angry at them. He looked all of them in an anger, that angry mode. Our postmaster, he was watching him from a far place because he wanted to see how this man is reacting once he received the money. Postmaster thought he would be happy, but instead of being happy, he was sad and angry. He again writes a letter to God, conveying his disappointment and distrust in the employees of the post office, who he thought had stolen the remaining amount. Just think about the irony. Just think about the irony. The postmaster, he has given his salary. He collected a salary from his colleagues, the employees of the post office. He collected money from his relatives, friends, everyone. But what happened in the end? He got the name thief, crooked person. And is believing that he had taken the money because Lenjo is sure that the postmaster has taken the money. Otherwise, God will never take the money. God will never do a mistake. God cannot do a mistake. That shows his ultimate unquestionable faith, belief upon God. But same time that shows he is failing to understand his fellow human beings. We should all have faith upon God. We should all believe upon God. It's up to you. It's your belief. It's my belief. Different. No issues. But same time, more than God, we have to believe our fellow human beings. When you are facing a problem, sometimes it will be a friend. It will be sometimes an unknown person coming for your rescue, coming to help you. We don't know who will come. We don't know what will happen to our life. So only thing which we have to do is with the belief upon God, we should also have belief upon our fellow human beings. That is the message given by GL Fuents in this story. So in this small session, let us conclude the story in this way. All have faith upon God. At the same time, more than that, or moreover, have faith upon ourselves and our fellow human beings. Thank you.